Hello lovely people, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, how are you all today? I hope you're grand. It's the beginning of August and woohoo, it's harvest time. So I'm going to get the onions out today, and if you saw in the August tour I was just kind of briefly explaining why, so I'll just go over it again. We've had a really dry, hot spring and summer, which is great for the onions. Oh, here comes the wind. Now, generally what I would want to do is let all the tops flop over, give them a couple of weeks, and the foliage starts to just yellowy brown, a bit shrivel up a bit, and then lift them and prepare them to store. The tops have flopped over, but we do a lot of rain. So at this stage they're not growing anymore, and if I leave them on the ground like this, there is a danger that they will start to rot. So I'm lifting them. So it's a bit sooner than I would have liked, but ultimately it's about making sure I get the harvest in and making sure I've got my food stored for the winter. And next spring I'm just seeing this load of red ants down here. If I go woohoo, you'll know why. So when you're lifting your onions, they've got a really shallow root system. Let me show you. See that? Pick up their little root system. Even though they've got this shallow root system, don't be tempted to yank them up by the foliage. You don't want to be breaking the foliage. Foliage? What's foliage? Don't break off the foliage. You don't want to be breaking off the foliage. What we want to do is get them up whole, let them dry as whole as possible, and in that drying process they sort of seal themselves up, if that makes sense. So you don't want to be breaking anything. At this stage, as you're going along, if you pull out any that looking a bit hinky, if you remember when I did my garlic harvest, if you're going to see hinkiness on your onions, that's my technical term, you're probably going to see it around the base, sort of white powdery stuff, first signs of rotten, horrible stuff. Don't put them to store, just set them aside and use the parts of them that are usable, if there's a part of them that's usable. It's a really, really weird harvest because a couple are like this. I mean, they've done nothing. And then, as you'll see later in the row, a couple of them are absolute whoppers. Who knows why they do that? So as I go, I'm just literally all I'm doing is gently brushing off any excess soil, and then we'll get them to the shed. I've always preferred to sit on the soil to work. It's much easier because my knees don't bend quite so properly anymore. As I work, I tend to make lots of noises like ooh and I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Stephen Fry once said, one of the signs of ageing is that you make a noise every time you move. I thought that was brilliant. When I get up, when I sit down. So I think today I'm going to try and get the whites out and into the new drying rack. I'm so excited to use it. Oh yeah, brilliant suggestions from everyone. Bunting along the front of the rack to remind me it's there so I don't buff my head. Hopefully once all the onions are in it, I'll kind of know it's there. I don't really want to screw anything into the roof because it's quite a thin sheet, the roof. But I am thinking of, on either end, of putting chain, sort of hooks for chains, and then having a chain that comes down and hooks onto the middle at the front, just to give it a bit more sturdiness, because there will be quite a few pounds of onions here. So bunting on the front, maybe a chain or something to just give it a bit more support in the middle at the front, and then also, good point everyone, some sort of sheet or something hanging underneath it, so so I don't get sprayed with drying, crisping foliage and bits of mud and dusty soil. But I'm not too worried about all that for now. The main thing is to just get these beautiful veggies out of the soil, get them drying, because as I say, we do all this rain. It's been threatening all morning actually, and I just, can you imagine if I left it a couple of weeks and they all rotted? I'd be gutted. See, look, they're really good size, decent size. So I'm going to crack on with this. It's going to take me a little while. I'll join you back in the shed in a mo. Right, time to get the first bucket full to the shed and in the rack, and then I'll come back for this lot. Hopla. Oh my goodness, the cat. Oh, Rusty, no. This naughty cat. Oh dear, I do love him. He's really, really on the hunt. I haven't got any, my darling. I'm so sorry. That's my smoothie. He's, I've given him a little half bowl, excuse me. But I didn't have much food with me today, and he's just been around my feet and crying for food. I'll go to the shops in a minute. So, I just had a phone call, which means I'm going to have to get a wriggle on and get out of here, unfortunately. So, I'm now the idea is, I'm just going to change the angle a little bit, as you can see. Oh, sorry, that was a bit of a jolt. The idea is to have them here with their foliage hanging through, but it's going to take me ages to do that, to thread them all. So for now, literally all I'm going to do is just lay them on the rack, because they'll still get loads of air circulating around them, which is what I want to start that drying process. Actually, I'm going to do them all along the back first and then come forward, just because for now it's one of those things, you know, you're in the middle of something really fun and you get interrupted and you think, I would rather do it the way I planned, but it's better to just get it done somehow if we're in a hurry than to not do it at all. So I had banged my head on this as soon as I came in here. Oh dear. I'm definitely going to have to put bunting or such like in front of it, and a really little one tuck at the back. But I think it's going to prove a useful little toy. I hope it does. Look, the thing is, when I built the new shed last summer, when I was kind of thinking about how I wanted to fit it out, I was trying to think of all the different sorts of times of year and how the shed functions through the year. So, for instance, sort of a lot of, say, the winter and, yeah, mostly over the winter, there's a lot of stuff to store. Seed trays, pots, fleece, Enviromesh. There's masses and masses to store. So when I was kind of doing my initial plans, I knew that I wanted to have this little bench in here to have as sort of seating, because I love having people over to the shed for a cup of tea, and especially if it's a rainy day, to have somewhere where, you know, 3 or 4 of us can come and get out of the rain. So I knew that by having the bench, that would limit wall hanging space. And I thought, well, that's okay, because obviously the bench I will use for built-in space underneath. Brilliant. So yeah, thinking about the functions of the shed throughout the year in terms of storage of our kit, all our pots and trays and fleeces and nets and ad infinitum, but also throughout the year in terms of storing veg and drying the veg. So if any of you have seen my previous onion harvests over on Sean's videos, you'll remember basically my old shed used to just turn it, like every surface had onions on it. The table where I used to make tea, literally every inch of space would be covered in onions. So when I was kind of dreaming up the inside for this shed, that was one of the things I thought about, is like, oh, excuse me, I've got itchy nose, where am I going to put all my onions? So this idea, do you know, it was partly prompted because ages ago, had a weekend away. I hadn't had a holiday for years and years and years, but managed to have a weekend away. And during the weekend away, went on a steam train. I love trains, love my old trains. And I was reminded of the old luggage racks that, you know, where on the trains where you had the corridor down one side and then you'd have a little compartment with 8 seats in it, 4 and 4, and then above each there'd be the luggage rack. Well, this was kind of inspired by that. No, it's not strong enough to have as a bed. A few of you suggested it's a spare bed. It may turn into a cat bed when it's not an onion bed. I'm sure if I put something comfy up there, the cats would be up in no time. But it is actually it's one of those things to think about, actually, if you're building a new shed and kitting it out, especially if you've, you know, been doing your gardening for a little while. You'll know with your old shed or whatever you've been using, you'll know, oh, I'm always lacking in space for, you know, X, Y, Z. So in the new shed, how can I make sure I've got space? So yeah, just something to think about when you're designing and dreaming up your dream garden hideaway. Nearly there, halfway, another basket. I'm really chuffed with this harvest, and actually I've got some whoppers, I mean like grapefruit sized, but I always say, you know, size isn't everything, and quite often if I'm cooking, if it's just for me, I don't really want such a huge onion, so it's nice to have, you know, a nice selection of different sizes. One more space there. Okay, so I'm going to get on with the rest of these and then dash away. I really don't want to leave the garden today, but I need to. I will catch up with you all again soon. Done a little bit of harvesting this morning as well, so I'll be doing some cooking later, and maybe I can share a little recipe with you guys later on. If not today, then tomorrow or whenever. So for now, I'll say cheerio, happy harvesting, happy storing, happy shed designing, happy dream shed designing. Whatever you're up to, be happy. I'll see you all really soon again, I hope. Take care.